Hi there, this is Steven with Karma Astrology, and I'm coming to you live from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Today is June 15th. It's a Tuesday here in America still. It's 2021, 10:45 a.m. here in Denver time zone, Santa Fe. Hope you're all having a great day out there. And as you can see over to my right, the moon, that MO in turquoise, that moon is in Magha Nakshatra. That's MAG next to the moon, right next to the ascendant actually, because it's rising on the eastern horizon over there. But it is in the sign of Leo. If you look to the right of that box to my right, you'll see Leo, and that is the constellation or the asterism, the section of the sky that houses the constellation of Leo. Leo is a very big constellation, so it's a little bit over 30 degrees, but we average the signs out to be 12 even signs of 30 degrees, in case you were wondering. But Leo is this section of the sky that is seen where the moon is right now. And that being said, you can also see down here that the moon is going to be in Magha Nakshatra until June 16th at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So basically a day from now. And let's see. So I'll just get into it. The moon is in Leo. It's going to be there for 2.5 days about. That's how long it takes to go through a sign, and it just entered Leo. As you can see, it's at about 15 minutes, 18 minutes there. And when the moon comes into Leo, the moon shows our sensitivity, it shows our feelings, it shows our emotions, and anywhere where we're looking for connection and kind of this sense of nurturing or any sort of kind of motherliness or this caretaking attitude that we have, this sense of compassion as well. These are all qualities of the moon and qualities of us that relate to the moon in the sky, and wherever the stars are behind it, we kind of have that personality imprinted upon our consciousness in these ways. So for all so basically what that all means is that we're extra sensitized, we're looking for compassion, we're looking for connection through the Leo principle today and tomorrow and the next day a little bit. So Leo in general is about being big, being large, kind of being grandiose, having this larger than life personality. It's the sign of the sun, so it relates to sun energy, as in the divine masculine force within each of us, no matter what sex we are. This sense of action and creativity and the ability to kind of act in a righteous sort of way, in a way that's truthful and in alignment with nature, so that we can basically make the world a better place and our world a better place in the microcosm all the way out to the macrocosm. So we have to sacrifice some of our pleasures, some of our joys, some of our free time, some of our family time in order to go to our work, in order to, make a living and provide for those family members and or for ourselves and our loved ones, whatever. And so this sense of sacrifice and the sense of righteousness and honor and all of these kind of qualities that we associate with like kings and queens kind of thing is very much a Leo concept. So when the moon comes into Leo, it makes us sensitive to those things. Therefore, we feel more in touch with our own sense of honor, with our own sense of kind of power, our inner power plant, our inner drive to act truthfully and to act righteously and with honor. So we feel more contented and grounded and peaceful when we're acting honorably. We feel more connected to the world around us when we're doing the right thing. We're feeling larger than life in a lot of ways. Sometimes our personalities can get very large. We can get very passionate when the moon is in Leo, especially with the Mars. Yeah, I guess it is the Mars, but with Mars up there in Cancer, that'll make us a little more volatile emotionally. That'll make us a little more short-fused and short-tempered and perhaps emotionally triggered in many different ways. So we have to watch out for that kind of fire. There's a lot of fire going on right now, and we're kind of in the heat of it. No pun intended. And so when the moon is in Leo and Mars is in Cancer, we can definitely feel like more touchy, more sensitive. We can be quick to anger. We can be quick to retaliate. or to kind of fight if we feel threatened or if we feel disrespected in a lot of ways. It definitely has a lot to do with respect and honor and being honored by other people for what we do. So there's this kind of self-centered attitude in Leo as well, where we're really focused on ourselves, and that could be for better or worse. It's better in terms of our ability to be independent and to take action and to kind of create the life that we want. It's worse in terms of feeling jealous or envy of other people's power, of other people's authority, and maybe we're feeling like our sense of inner authority isn't being respected, or basically our power isn't being respected, our independence, our sovereignty. There's a big words with Leo energy are not being respected, and therefore we can get we can feel a little downtrodden. We can feel a little disrespected in general. So it's definitely something to watch out for, how reactive we are to feelings of disrespect, how reactive we are to feelings of control and power over other people, and how we need to basically realize that the spiritualization of this power principle is that we all have an individual right to be powerful in our own way. We don't have a right to rule over other people, though. We don't have a right to gain dominance over other people. That's kind of antithetical to someone's sovereignty and individuality. Although, of course, when people can't take care of themselves, like young children, the parents have to step in and act as that kind of power center for their kids to learn from, to grow from, or, whoever, to, this could be student-teacher kind of relationships as well, or it's just basically, we all need to be harvesting and honing, maybe that's a better word for it, our sense of individualism, our sense of sovereignty, our sense of being able to, basically our ability to take care of ourselves is very important. And so that's basically Leo, kind of harping on that. And then Magha is this beginning of Leo, the first from 0 degrees until 13 degrees and 20 minutes, so almost half the sign, but the first part of it. And it's all about honoring our ancestors, honoring those who came before us. That could be, physical ancestors, biological ancestors, or it could be spiritual ancestors, those teachers of your teachers of your teachers, maybe, or your teachers, anyone who's basically come before you and provided you with knowledge and wisdom and this sense of power, like I was saying about our parents. So it's our parents' job to empower us so that we can be independent individuals. It's our, in a lot of ways, it's our teachers' jobs to do that as well. So we look up to people that we respect, that we admire, and we try to learn how to emulate their sense of individuality, their sense of righteousness and sovereignty, and these are all, and sacrifice, and these are all qualities that we're kind of honoring in our parents. So if you had a parent that really taught you how to be independent, it's a great day to pay homage to them, or a grandparent, or any sort of, all of us, let's be real, have dealt with many different situations throughout our lineage, and our collective lineage, since we're all one species, that we can draw upon, and these are ancestors of all of us that are kind of, you could say, waiting around for us to contact with them and to connect with them and to ask them for advice and help and to pay attention to the synchronicities and the symbols and all the things that happen in our lives that are kind of symbolic of, our interactions with those beings and spirits and entities that are beyond the physical realm. Not to mention the fact that we can just contact people in the physical realm too and let our parents know, or our grandparents know, that we love them and respect them and care about them. This is very much about honoring those who came before us and living up to their legacy in a lot of ways, kind of in our own way. Because, we're not our parents, we're not our ancestors, but we do have our own, we have their qualities within us, and we can use their qualities to express this sense of whatever our individual truth is, with that sense of power, with that sense of empowerment. And I hope I'm not triggering anybody with that word, because it certainly seems to be a big trigger word, because I think personally, and now you're getting a little insight into my perspective, that the powers that be like the idea of having power over others. Like the governments of the world like telling people what to do. And as we've seen with the lockdowns and everything. And so when we are empowered as individuals, then we basically are showing that we don't necessarily need any sort of authority to govern us, to control us in a way. And so there's a lot of forces in our lives that are trying to disempower us, and that's something to be very aware of on a day like today, and to claim your power back, to be an individual, to be sovereign, to be a part of something big, but know that everyone has a right to do their own thing. Everyone has a right for liberty and freedom, and that has a lot to do with this Magha Nakshatra. Magha Nakshatra has a ton of these classically liberal qualities within it, and that means freedom-oriented or liberty-oriented, other than the modern interpretation of what liberal is. But basically, there's this desire or this ability to tap into our ancestors' power, our ancestors' gifts that they give us on a day like today. And that's kind of repeating the whole thing over and over again in a nutshell and going on a little rant, but I hope you got a little bit out of that. So let me show you what it looks like in the sky, and you can get a good idea of what we're dealing with, and then you can show your family and friends and look all cool when you know where the planets and the moon and all these different things are in the sky. So if I go over here, I'm going to cancel out this video. There we go. You can see that the moon is basically rising here where I am right now, but if I go sleep to the night before, because these stars are hard to see in the daytime on this app, as you can see, sun is setting in the end of Taurus, the beginning of Gemini, and I'll talk about that once it goes into Gemini. The moon, or as we go down, you'll be able to see Venus in Gemini there. There's Venus, and there's Pollux and Castor. And then you'll be able to see Mars in Cancer as the moon has passed Mars. Mars is that orangey star, that beautiful orangey star. Venus is the super, super bright star. You can't miss it. It's the brightest looking thing in the sky, besides the moon and the sun, of course. And then there's Mars, which is the super orange one, and you'll see the moon up here as it's entering Leo, as it just entered Leo, and Regulus, that very, very bright star, one of the brightest stars in the sky in the beginning of Leo, is Magha. So this is actually last night, and the moon is a little bit further down the road here. It's a lot closer to Regulus right now, but it's just hard to see. As you can see, currently it is right by that kind of front leg of Leo Regulus. So there's your little astronomical description of this. And we'll go back and talk about some of the strengths and weaknesses on a day like today, so you can kind of plan your day around it, or think about, what's working for you, what's not working for you, and why. So in terms of strengths, this gives us a deep respect of those who came before us, the respect of traditions and ceremonies, definitely an enjoyment of ceremonies. It helps us to kind of increase our sense of independence, of course. It helps with a sense of optimism when the moon is in this part of the sky. That's what I'm describing when the moon is in Magha, like today. We notice that we might have a little more optimism, we might be more reliable, more respectful, more kind. We can really focus on that sense of honor that we feel within ourselves and honor of other people. And then on the shadow side, we might be feeling a little arrogant, or short-tempered, egotistical. We could feel jealous or envious of others that have, that are standing in their truth, standing in their power. We can feel bitter about that or disdainful. We can be overly susceptible to flattery, because this sort of egoic tendencies can arise when the moon is in Magha, where we get a little too full of ourselves and we think about that kind of how we're the greatest thing around, and that's something to watch out for, not to get drawn into that sort of selfish egoic tendency of this moon. We can be attached to our prosperity and success, and our social status can be a little overly important on a day like today. We can be unkind to those who don't show us a sense of respect and honor, and so we don't want to kind of get too full of ourselves. That's the basis of it. And then in terms of favorable activities, it's nice for any sort of public performances or arts and theater. It's nice to attend ceremonies or religious practices. It's very auspicious to honor our ancestors in any way. That could be any of those forms. Do things that they enjoyed doing, think about them, pray to them. That kind of stuff is very useful and favorable on a day like today. It could be great for researching our lineage, finding out, going on 23andMe or whatever, and figuring out where we came from, where these kind of qualities and traits within us were bred throughout ages and time. It can help with a career success on a day like today, kind of working up the ranks of your career. It's good for religious activities, like I was saying, and kind of studying history and knowledge, because that's, of course, the knowledge of history is really the knowledge of our ancestors. And in terms of unfavorable activities, it's not a great day to really put ourselves down and to put ourselves into more of a servile position. It's not too great a day for planning for the future. Good to be present. That's always kind of the case, but we do want to think about what's going to happen in the future. Today is more of a where we are kind of day, and focusing on who we are and how we got here, and more of our past than kind of projecting into the future. Let's see. Yeah, it's not a very futuristic kind of energy. It's not very auspicious to do things that involve high-tech, futuristic kind of processes or anything like that. It's much more of a reflection kind of day on the past, reflecting on what got us here, the principles, the values, the strength, the power, all of those qualities of our ancestors and our spiritual guides that kind of allowed us, or are allowing us, to live our lives and give us the life that we have, and that it's a great time to be grateful for all of those beings and those people that came before us. That's kind of the vibe. Rather than thinking about the future and where we're going and our progeny and all that stuff, it's much more about the past and what came before us, and letting them know that we respect them. So I think that's going to do it for today. Actually, you know what? I'm going to talk about the sun, because it looks like the sun just entered Gemini. If you see up here in the corner, the sun is in Gemini now, 0 degrees and 38 minutes, so it entered basically last night for us here in the United States. And in general, first of all, I just want to say, if you're enjoying this video, please give me a thumbs up, hit the comment section below if you have any comments, questions, concerns, and then feel free to subscribe if you want to see these on a daily basis to see how it affects your life. And hit the notification bell if you want to get notified about it. Otherwise, the sun is in Gemini. Sun in Gemini shows this kind of loquacious, fun-loving, creative, playful energy. Gemini is the sign of the explorer, the researcher, and this kind of inner knowledge within us. The desire to accrue more knowledge, the desire to learn new things, the desire to kind of change our perspective with facts, with new realities that we're courageously exploring. So when the sun comes into Gemini, we feel more empowered when we're investigating things. We feel stronger, and we feel like we're acting more righteously and with honor, because these are all Leo qualities, all sun qualities like I've been describing. When we are creative, that kind of Gemini aspect, so we're going to feel empowered when we're creative. We're going to feel on top of the world when we're doing research, when we're looking into the details of things, when we're gathering information. We're going to be feeling more confident in ourselves and have more self-esteem. Same thing. So the sun will really get us to look deeply into all of the different aspects of whatever we're studying, whatever we're interested in. Gemini is very much a non-judgmental sign. It doesn't really say what's right and wrong. It's just trying to figure out what is. And so the sun, on the other hand, wants us to kind of follow what's right and wrong, so we can kind of get a little mercurial or fickle. When the sun is in Gemini, we can kind of be indecisive as to what path we want to take, what action we want to go towards, and what actions we want to avoid. So it's good to be gathering more information to get some clarity about that, and to slow down and think about, what direction we're heading in, what we actually want to pursue, what's going to give us a sense of confidence, what's going to diminish our sense of confidence and self-respect. Those are big things, because we can get into a whole rabbit hole of information with Gemini energy, and it can really disempower us and make us feel very self-conscious if we're not going down necessarily the right path for us at the current time, or if we're learning things that we're not ready to learn, or we're learning things that are untrue and we're thinking that they're true. It's very good to put that thinking cap on right now over the next month while the sun is in Gemini, and to be clear about what we want to study, what we want to research, and how it makes us feel in terms of our level of confidence and self-assurance. And yeah, so I think that's gonna do it. I hope you enjoyed this forecast. Peace and love. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Hit the subscribe if you want to see these on a daily basis again. And I will see you next time. Take care.